I'm going to do a video on the migrations and the navigations of using the stars by the people that colonized the Pacific. These two boards are going to be your guides in regards to the mainstream idea of the Polynesian and the Melanesian peoples. Melanesian peoples' navigation and colonization of the Pacific and Melanesia, Micronesia. And this is the Whaharoa. This is the entranceway I'm going to walk through. It resembles a double-hulled canoe the people that migrated through the Pacific used to use, that migrated down to these islands. I'm in the Hawke's Bay, near Napier. Hamawana, where I stayed last night, is just over there. There's the main over that way. Oh, where am I? Over there on the coast where I stayed last night. I'm back there again tonight for the night. I'm taking you into this circle over here where they have a reconstruction of what the navigators used to be able to navigate and sail through the Micronesian, Melanesian, Pacific region, Polynesia. And this is a reconstruction of all the directions and of all the actual cardinal points that the sailors used to be able to move through the Pacific, Micronesia, Melanesia, and navigate with the stars when they sailed these double-hulled canoes all through the region. And for me, and my perception of this information, is that what we have here, looking at this beautiful reconstruction and the four directions, the main poles, here, 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 and here, are the four directions: north, south, east, west. And this construction to me feels like it could easily be the representation of a knowledge passed down from legacy cultures to the people that navigated through Melanesia, Micronesia, and the Polynesian area. For me, when I look at this beautiful reconstruction and I see the mythology around this ancient art, ancient craft, ancient skill to be able to navigate through this particular part of the world, which is lost to a lot of people in this country, indigenous people in this country, or the people that migrated here, called the Maori. Not Maori, Maori's legal. Maori people who arrived here in many canoes, who sailed here, who rediscovered these islands, and the people that were living here at the time when they arrived here, which is something I'll talk about in this video when I turn the camera around to face the camera. This knowledge and the ability to find this place was passed down to them by legacy cultures, in my perception. I'm going to tell you why I think that way. So I've taken a seat in this beautiful construction. Talk about the nature of what I think is that what I'm seeing around me and when I'm seeing the knowledge that's been constructed into this monument, this beautiful monument, and it's a rendition basically of the cardinal directions and the use of the stars in the sky to be able to navigate through the whole region of Polynesia, Melanesia, and Micronesia by the people that sailed through that part of the world for thousands of years. And my perception that it's all been handed down to them, and they all came from a legacy culture that actually sailed through that particular part of the Pacific many centuries before they did. And that knowledge was handed down to them, and they used that knowledge to get here. And when I say it's a legacy culture, my feeling is that legacy culture, it's a legacy culture that came from Atlantis, and then before that from Lemuria, which would have been a massive continent in the Pacific at some point, which sank. And that legacy culture, those people that lived on Lemuria colonized the entire region of what we now call Micronesia, Melanesia, and Polynesia, in the islands. But in that time frame as well, the people from Lemuria and Atlantis had colonized various parts of the Pacific Ring of Fire, which is all through sort of mainland Asia, Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Micronesia, the islands of Micronesia, Polynesia, Melanesia, and all the way down the South American, Central American coast. The people that colonized there, especially in South America, I feel as though the people that migrated across the Pacific into what we now know to be the Amazon rainforest basin region and settled through there have, due to the work of genealogists, have a close genetic link to the people of Melanesia. So we know for thousands of years ago, people were crossing back and forth around the Pacific Ocean and through Polynesia to get to South America, or traveling beneath Australia and New Zealand in the Roaring Forties potentially to get across to South America and up the coast of South America, using the currents to get into the Amazon basin or around the Cape of what was now known the Cape of Good Hope, around into the Brazilian area, the Brazilian Amazon, and travel into the Amazon itself. So for me, this rendition here is basically representation of a legacy culture that knew how to travel through this particular region of the world by using the stars, and pass that knowledge down to the people that moved into those parts of the world and took over the legacy cultures as those legacy cultures moved forward and moved onward out of the islands and traveled other parts of the world and settled other parts of the world. And I look around me now, and I after looking at those boards over there and seeing the stories around the nature of what they believe in regards to their myths and legends, it becomes quite obvious to me that anthropomorphic ideas that are translated into mythology, because it's easier to remember myth and story. And in those stories and in those myths, you see the renditions of how they utilized myth and folklore to memorize direction, to memorize star movement, constellation movement, and also to understand the nature of the workings of the galaxy. Like in that, if you look at that, go back to those plaques at the beginning of this video, you look at the people that arrived here, the Maori people that arrived here knew that Orion's belt, the Orion system, was a place where stars were actually made. And we now know for a fact that a lot of stars in our galaxy originate in the Orion Nebula and then come out of the Orion Nebula. So these people knew. And where did that information come from? Where did it come from? I don't think it came from Star Brothers. I think it came from a legacy culture that they interacted with, and they learnt about the ability to sail through that particular part of the Pacific Ocean from these legacy cultures who were here. A lot of them were here in my perception, the Turehu, the Patupaia, the Irakihu. They were here when the Maori people arrived here. The Waitaha, these legacy cultures were here on these islands when the Maori people arrived here. Where they've gone to, have they interbred, have they intermarried, have they vanished, are they interdimensional? These are all questions I can't answer, but they're questions nonetheless. But to me, being in this incredible circle, I'm going to come back here tonight, maybe under the full moon actually, I think, and to be here now in this incredible sculpture, this incredible monument to the workings of the people that sailed here, that used this ancient technology, this ancient seafaring technology to be able to use the stars the way they did. The most incredible sailors potentially, if you think about it really, probably in the world, to be able to navigate through that vast ocean to find the tiniest little islands, but remember where they were, which is the most important thing I think in regards to the legacy culture. They were told where these islands were, how to get there, and these cardinal directions, these folklore and legend star clusters and the movements of these star clusters through our procession of ages, through our procession of the night sky, through the movement of the stars and the constellations, and the memory of this being passed down through hundreds of generations to get to a point where they were actually able to use the information, and they went about doing that. and moving through the whole region of the Polynesian, Melanesian, Micronesian environments is pretty amazing. And to see it be revived today, it has been revived over the last 30, 40 years, this part of the world, is pretty special to behold. Thanks for watching, I truly appreciate it. Mate wa. I'll see you again soon.